Okay, so nothing happened the last time, so I think we're okay. Okay? There was no sounds, there was no weird text appearing, so I think we're good. Hello, everyone. Geriatric here with Geriatric Movie Review, and tonight it was Office Christmas Party. Much more appropriate movie than the last movie I did, Incarnate, for the season. The basic premise of the movie is that at a computer company, there are some problems. The CEO of the company, played by Jennifer Aniston, wants to shut it down. But the reasons we kind of get is because her brother is actually managing the company, and there's a little bit of sibling rivalry there. But she makes them a deal. If you can land an account with a big client, then everybody can keep their jobs. And because of this, they decide that the only way to impress this client is to invite him to the craziest office Christmas party of all time. Now, this movie is very funny, and it should be with all of the very funny people in it. You've got Jason Bateman, you've got Olivia Munn, you've got T.J. Miller, you got Courtney B. Vance, you've got Jamie Chung, you've got a ton of people here who are very funny. Putting them into this situation is almost guarantees laughs, and it is. It's very funny. A couple of standouts. Let's see. Kate McKinnon playing an HR lady named Mary Wintoss is just hilarious. As someone who's trying to keep this party down while still appearing to enjoy herself, she plays this role delightfully. Jason Bateman, who I always think is very underrated in a lot of his roles, because all the characters involved are crazy. These are crazy characters with crazy motives, and he is kind of the sane one, or the least crazy one. And that role is kind of hard to play, but Jason plays it off fantastically by being smart and dry and just basically giving the audience somebody more to relate to, because you can't relate because these people are nuts. Another one is Olivia Munn, beautifully, very funny, talented actress, who plays Tracy, who is Jason Bateman's kind of close friend and maybe possibly something more as the movie progresses. What I really liked about this movie was this is an R-rated movie. So I was going into it with some certain expectations. I was like, okay, we're going to get very raunchy. We're going to get very, just a lot of things. And it never did. Even though those movies are rated because of language and sexuality and some drug use, the filmmakers never resort to cheap, I guess what the official term is like, dick and fart jokes. Everybody is allowed to be funny by being this character and not taking it to the extreme. Now, are there some parts in here that are kind of on the more adult side? Of course there are. But it's not really about that. To put it in perspective, I saw Sausage Party and was amazed at just how raunchy it was. And as I said, I'm not a prude, but sometimes I want to say, okay, you're funny, but show me why you can be funny. Don't resort to cheap scare tactics. Like I said in Incarnate with about relying too much on nudity or gore in order to scare people. Comedy is much like that too. You have to set up jokes and have characters that are funny, but it's very easy to go and rely on dick and fart jokes and very raunchy for the shock value. But the movie never does this. It's funny because these characters are so crazy and outlandish, and if you put them all into a setting, put some alcohol in there, and it's just a hilarious, just an hilarious time. Will Speck, Josh Gordon are the guys who directed this, and as I said, they pull it off very funny because an ensemble cast like this, you really have to juggle quite a lot of things, because you could have made this movie with one of these people or even two, but to have all these people and all these funny characters in one movie, it's a very delicate juggling act, and they pull it off brilliantly because everybody gets their funny moment, everybody gets to shine in the characters they created. As I said, this movie was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. It's kind of showing you about how, when I used to hear about Christmas parties from my parents, they were kind of a little crazy. There was, some alcohol and stuff. But in the world we live in now, it's very, okay, you got to be very professional. You've got to include everybody. And this one just takes screw all that. Let's just have a really good time and for a good cause. Remember, the whole point of this party is that if they don't land this client, 40% of their workforce is going to be cut. And I kind of like that because it's not just, hey, we can have a big party and let's do it. It's more about, hey, we're going to have a party because you guys deserve it, and also we're trying to save your jobs. One standout is T.J. Miller. You might remember him from Deadpool. He was Ryan Reynolds' character's best friend, the guy who ran the bar. But when he goes into this movie, at first when you look at him, you think to yourself, okay, this is a rich kid who's gotten everything. He's kind of a partier. And, but this guy wants to save his people because his father ran this company and he wants to, do what his father did. His idea for this party is, let's have a party that my dad used to throw. And because I want to save these people's jobs. And I really like that because it isn't just, okay, as I said before, crazy for crazy's sake. There is a purpose behind it. Jennifer Aniston, who plays his sister, is funny. For a person who is very nice in real life, who seems, of course, she'll always be compared to Rachel on Friends, playing a character who is, and if you'll excuse my term here, a complete bitch, is refreshing. You saw a lot of this in Horrible Bosses, where she played a character like this. So it's always refreshing to see how well of an actress she is by playing a very unlikable role. So, yeah, check it out. As I said, rated R, don't bring the kids. As I said, drug use, sexuality, language. But if you're an adult and you're kind of sick of watching It's a Wonderful Life or How the Grinch Stole Christmas, give this a try for about the true meaning of Christmas. So, this is Geriatric with Gary, reminding you, if you're not going to the movies, then what are you doing with your life? No, I usually didn't go to Christmas parties. Well, at a hospital, it's kind of hard to do it. We're open on Christmas, and there's really no time because we're open 24 hours. Are we having a Christmas party? I guess we could. Yeah, we could have, cookies and stuff like that. Secret Santa. Gary, don't you think that Secret Santa would be kind of pointless? I am not being a Grinch. Talking and acting differently, well, some of that can be explained away. If a person starts swearing or becoming violent, well, a rational person in today's society can say, well, that's just schizophrenia or Tourette's or some sort of mental illness. But when it comes to things that there is no possible